Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. We're just going to wait another minute or two to allow people to continue to log on, and we'll get started. Thanks. Just about one more minute and we'll get started. Thanks a lot. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this latest iteration of the Intermedia Unite webinar. I am Jason Shepard. I'm a product marketing manager here. I'm working on Unite with Intermedia. Welcome to our webinar. It's for the Unite Envision Partner Dashboard. And I'm very excited to introduce this one because my background is in channel, and it's really, I just think, super cool that that we would develop such an awesome partner-focused tool like this one. It's a real game changer for you, and I think you'll be pretty interested in what you see here today. I want to introduce Alex Smith. He's a Senior Director of Product Management here at Intermedia. He is the one responsible for bringing the partner dashboard from vision to fruition. And not only is he an amazing product manager, but he also happens to do an excellent impression of James Bond I saw a few months ago. He is fairly amazing at that. Let's see. At the top of your screen up there, you're going to see a couple of icons. On the left-hand one, you're going to see a little happy face emoji. That you can kind of just tell us how you're feeling about the webinar, if you're happy or it's a great thing, you want to applaud. It's all right there. If you want to give it a try, please do. Go to the emoji and let us know that you can hear us okay. Awesome. Perfect. And the middle icon there is where you can submit your questions. If you have any questions at all that you think of during the webinar, let us, it's got the little question mark in the middle there. Just let us know, and we'll do our very best to get to that question if with the time we have remaining at the end. And the one on the right is if you want to switch to phone and listen to this webinar over the phone rather than through your computer speakers, just hit that button there, and that will help you out. The last thing I wanted to mention is at the very end of this webinar, we're going to have a little survey that we would like for you to participate in. It doesn't directly correlate to this, to the partner dashboard, but we do rely on our partners to help us drive future roadmap, and this one is about a contact center that we've got in the works, and we would love to hear from our partners about how we could possibly improve that. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Alex Smith, and he can get on to the real meat of this presentation. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you everybody for attending. So here is our agenda today. So we will step through these items. As Jason's already said, there will be time. We will ensure there's some time at the end for Q&A. So at any point in time, just leave those questions. I will be introducing to you today the Envision Analytics platform. I'll give you a little bit of an introduction into what it is, what it can do for you, why you should be interested in this. Rightly or wrongly, bravely or foolishly, I will be demonstrating the partner dashboard. It is available today, so I will be doing a live demonstration of that. You will be able to see exactly what is available to you the next time, or if you have gone into your partner dashboard, it's there today. I'll show you how to get to it. There'll be a little sneak peek into some futures that we've got coming over the next months and quarters, some additional capability as well. So yeah, I think there's a pretty interesting agenda, and let's just get straight to it. So the first item is to talk about the Envision Analytics platform. Envision is the name of this platform. It is, as the name describes, an analytics platform. But why an analytics platform? Why is it interesting? What does it do? The whole purpose of developing this platform and the tools that sit on top of this platform are to provide actionable insights. So these are taking data, lots and lots of underlying data that on its own potentially is hard to trawl through, turning that into something that you, the partner, can take an action on. Okay, so that data has to be presented to you. It has to present you relevant data. So, as you can imagine, a UCaaS platform generates a whole ton of data. Every second, there are hundreds of thousands of events flowing through the platform, and obviously not all of them are going to be relevant to everybody. So we have to sift that out and make that data relevant, but it has to be timely. So, data has a shelf life. If we send you a piece of data, or you consume a piece of data weeks after when it was generated, that event was generated, it's nowhere near as meaningful as if you receive that in a timely manner for you to take action on. Data on its own, though, is pretty hard to interpret. We're human beings. We don't tend to, see the matrix. We tend to see visualizations. We like graphs. We like colors. We like shapes. That's how we better manage that process of ingesting information and data. So, making something easy to consume, I suppose, and interpret, but also making it accessible. So, it doesn't matter how you work, whether that's mobile, desktop, on the road, you need to be able to access these insights very, very easily without having to jump through hoops to do that. So bear these points in mind as we go through and talk about the dashboard. Hold me to account. If you feel like what we're presenting isn't any of these things, then, we can absolutely discuss that. But that's the goal. They are the goals for which we hold ourselves to when we're creating these tools that sit atop this platform. But really the why, these visualizations, why are they important to you as UCaaS resellers? What does this data do? What do these insights do? And I guess just cutting to the chase, you as partners are busy people. You're in the business of being in business and making money. So, any time we can save you, any value that you can bring to your customers and make them more satisfied, ultimately equals more profit to you. So again, those four things before really aim to drive this end result. And the most important end result is more profit. Ultimately, these are through, whether that's reducing the amount of time you're spending responding to help desk tickets, or escalating your tickets to us, Intermedia as your trusted provider. Less time on the phone, obviously, always is lower administration cost and increased response times. All of these things ultimately drive more loyal customers, stickier customers, as we say, and ultimately allow you to sell more and be more profitable. And that's really the goal for what we're going to show you today. So let's move on. The Envision platform is it's a kind of behind the scenes, boring old analytics platform. It's consuming hundreds of thousands of events per second from all of our UCaaS systems that we host for you guys. So, whether that's chat systems, PBX systems, meetings, webinars, all of these things, throughout the day, 24 hours a day, are just creating tons and tons of events. Every time people pick up the phone, every time a device registers on the network, every time a meeting starts, every time somebody participates in that meeting, all of these events are being sent in real time through our Envision analytics platform. But that's just the data. It's great that it's real time. It's great that we're consuming it, but without turning that into something that is meaningful to you as partners, it's not really going to do a lot. We could give you a feed of hundreds of thousands of events. You're not going to be able to, consume that fire hose. So, the idea here is that we will build visualizations on top of that data platform, and then you can take those. And actually, I think we've got some animations here. So this is the platform itself. It's all about the data, turning that into visualizations. My mouse pointer's disappeared briefly. There we go. Turning that into visualizations that ultimately you, as a partner or an administrator of your customers, you can respond to those actions. You can take actions based on those insights. So this is really the goal of the platform. As a bit of a history lesson, we initially envisaged this platform as something that we would use internally. So the support teams came to me and my team, and they said, we want to be able to better support our customers and partners. So we built a set of tools, we built this platform, but it didn't take long before our partners heard about this. We started supporting them. They wanted a piece of the action. You guys want to have the same insights that we have. So let's just cut out the middleman rather than you guys having to come to us. Why not provide you, empower you, as it were, to basically support your customers directly? So we have a couple of modules that we are building onto the platform. We're going to go over a couple of them today. And then, as I've said, I'm going to tease a couple of the tools that are coming down the pipe as well. So initially, we're going to talk a little bit about what we just call the QoS dashboard or the QoS tool. Now, this is a tool that sits, here we go, the quick refresher on that. This is a tool that sits within the control panel. So the voice control panel of your customers. You can go into here and it will provide you insights, troubleshooting, analytics for a specific customer. It aggregates all of the calls and the meetings and the webinar data into one easy to consume dashboard. But this right now is at the customer or the account, the sub account level. So, this is absolutely wonderful. We're giving you a quick refresher. Some of you may not be aware. This has been available for a number of months now. This is one of the key troubleshooting tools if you know there is a problem. So takeaway one there, it gives you lots of nice, interesting analytics. You can drill into this data. You can plot it over time. You can spot trends by looking at, call volumes and meeting volumes over time. We can see bad calls or poor calls, as we call them in here, over time. And ultimately, you can drill into this. This is a navigable visualization. You can drill into this data and ultimately get down to understand where a specific issue might exist on a specific call. So, you see your call list, you can drill in, and then you can get right down into the nitty-gritty, and you can see, that technical data based on packet loss, round trip delay, MOS scores, jitter. There's some helpful kind of hover states in here that will describe, if you're seeing, for example, a poor jitter score, you can then hover on here. It will tell you what jitter is, how you might go about remediating that. It's also showing you exactly where in the stream. Is it the upload of the caller? Is it in the download of the call recipient? These things will help you diagnose specific issues with specific calls. So that's showing you the real kind of granular view, though. We've started at the sub account, we've drilled in and gone right the way down to the call level. This is a wonderful tool. Like I said, it's been available for a number of months, but it's not actually what we're here to talk about today, but it is relevant to what we're talking about today. So one of the interesting things about the QoS tool is that, you as partners aren't going to go in to each and every one of your sub accounts every single day, checking that QoS dashboard. Is it good? Is it good? Is it good? You've got better things to do than that. So the goal of the partner dashboard is to take that same data that drives that QoS tool at the sub account level, but distill it up or aggregate it, as we say, into a single view that you as a partner can see. So you get an at-a-glance representation of that same data. You can compare information, and you can ultimately get notifications when certain thresholds occur within that data set. So these are the three primary features. Without going into kind of too much depth at this point, I think from here we're actually going to attempt the foolish and dive into a demo. So if you just bear with me for 1 second, I'm just going to log into the partner tool so you can see exactly what I'm seeing. So I will share out the screen here. Okay, so here we are in the partner portal, the Intermedia partner portal. I've got a fresh login. You should see this, if you're a reseller of our UCaaS solution. So there's nothing unusual here. For now, the partner tool that I'm going to demonstrate is in the following place. It's in the voice services tools section on the left. So I'm going to click on that. And one thing you may have noticed, this used to be a 1, 2, 3 list. How do you pre-qualify your customers? And tools such as VoIP Scout there for testing network quality ahead of the sale. Then you obviously have the ordering service and the configuration of that account. But what we're talking about here is not the point-in-time network test that VoIP Scout does. This is giving you an ongoing notification or an ongoing tool so that you can basically understand how voice call quality and meeting quality changes during the lifetime of that customer. So this is really a post-sale monitoring tool, I suppose. So under here, step 4, you see the partner dashboard link, open partner dashboard. I will go in there now. In the future, we'll actually be adding some additional widgets to the homepage so that you don't even necessarily have to drill in. You can just hit the dashboard and kind of see at a glance whether there's an incident for you or not. So the first screen you get to is the incident map. So the idea of the incident map is that you can, at a glance, understand the situation within your sub-accounts. So this map as well is a fully navigable map. You can drill into information in here. If you come into here and there are no incidents, you will just see a big green kind of checkbox. None of your thresholds have been met. We don't envisage you having any issues necessarily. What I've done, though, is I've created some thresholds here. Because it's actually hard to test in production for bad situations on our network, I've actually created thresholds here that alert me when things are good. So it might seem a bit strange, but these incidents say when call quality turns good over a certain period of time, notify me. So in your situation, you're probably going to want to create alerts that notify you when things go bad. That's probably the most meaningful to you. So right now, this map is zoomed to the extent of each one of these quality events. But if I want, I can click on one, and it takes me to the location of that particular quality event. And it gives me some information about that account. And again, I've got some information here if I hover over this icon. I can still zoom in and out of this map. You can drag and drop. You can move it around. It's exactly what you'd expect from any popular mapping system. It will automatically zoom to the extent of your issues. Now, this is relevant because you might find that a cluster of your sub-accounts are having issues maybe in a particular location. So, it will automatically zoom in. Maybe it's a service provider within a given location is actually having, an outage, or they're having some data issues, or there's an issue with their data pipe. You might see that and be able to derive that information based on, where your customers are having issues geographically. But I will show you how we configure these notifications. In fact, I'll jump to that now before we go to the next step. So here, there is a Manage Notifications tab. I can create new event notifications. So I'm going to do that. I might, for example, want to create a notification when poor calls over a 7-day period, reaches, I don't know, 1% over that period. That could be meaningful. I then want to receive an email to my email address here. Now, one other thing you can do is apply which accounts that alert relates to. So I can select all my accounts, and you will see your accounts in this list. You'll see the current information, on that account, the poor calls for that given account. So this is like real-time data helping you make that decision. But this is relevant because you might have, that MVP customer you want to pay particular close attention to. You might have a higher level threshold for 30 of your accounts, but we've all got that one customer who we want to know about, when things get, even remotely problematic. So you could create a specific alert for that specific customer. So let's just clear that, and let's tick this guy. And I'm going to save that alert. That then gets saved in this list here. I can see here that, if poor calls is greater than 1% over 7 days for this account here, create an alert, send it to me. So here you can see all of your alerts and your events. The one as well here, this was an all, that's what we were seeing on that other graph here. If call quality over 30 days becomes good, yeah, that's those 6 events that we saw previously. But you can use this to send SMS notifications. You can use this to receive an email. I'll show you a screenshot of what they look like shortly. So this is the proactive nature, the timely nature of the tool. You're receiving a proactive alert based on your specific needs or your specific thresholds that you define. So one thing I'll also show here, this doesn't necessarily look great in my test environment. I urge you to go in and actually look in your own environment if you have kind of 10, 20 accounts, sub accounts. This looks a little bit different for you. But here, the Quality Analytics tab, this enables you to view that kind of aggregated information for all of your accounts added together. So you can view over 24 hours, 1 day, 7 days, or 30 days. And what this is doing is basically giving you a high-level overview of some relevant information. So here I'm looking at all of my accounts next to each other and their call volumes. So I can see which of my accounts are busier, I suppose, than others. I can also flip this and order this graph by poor quality calls. So here in my account, I don't have any poor quality calls, but were I to have a particular customer that was experiencing a higher percentage of bad calls, they would be prioritized on this chart. You would see a red bar to denote that customer there. Equally, down here, we have a table that's showing that same data, but in a tabular view. So you can then order this table to see, again, call volumes, poor calls, the number of registered devices here on an account as well, again, can help you derive information or derive some kind of insight into why there might be specific issues at that account. But the point is, you can come in here, you can compare your sub-accounts side by side without having to go into each and every one of their control panels. However, should you wish to access one of their control panels, there's a login button here that will immediately drop you into the control panel of that sub-account there if you decide that you want to do some specific troubleshooting on that account. So they are the 3 high-level features of the tool. The incident map, this will show you the incidents as and when they occur, if they occur. The Quality Analytics tab, that allows you to make statistical comparisons across your sub-account. And of course, Manage Notifications is for you to configure your specific notifications. I should say that right now, we don't pre-configure any notifications for you. We may choose to do that in the future. At least plot your notifications without necessarily alerting you. Because this is quite a new tool, it's been around for a few weeks now. Ultimately, though, we might find that if there are notifications and alerts that we feel are particularly impactful, we might start adding that should there be a need for that. Okay, so I am done with the demo. I cannot believe it worked, but sometimes it's a good day. I'm going to drop back to our slide presentation now. Okay, so here we're going to go through, here are the alerts that you would receive. So should you receive or should you trigger one of those thresholds of your making based on your configuration for your customers, you would receive either an email on the left or an SMS or both. You can add multiple recipients incidentally. So should you wish to have multiple emails, perhaps to specific account managers of yours or specific operation team members. Maybe you only want to receive an SMS if it's a particularly egregious incident. All of that is up to you. You can have the flexibility to manage that as you so desire. Okay, one point of note here, many of our partners, many of you guys use ticketing systems, automations. So when we were creating our email notification, we formatted and framed that in such a way that we tested it with some of the most popular ticketing kind of automation systems that we know you guys use. Here is a couple of examples, but by all means there are more. This enables you to trigger tickets or service desk alerts based on what you do, where you work. So those emails will be consumed into your system and trigger whatever it is you need to happen from your side. We have some KB articles incidentally. If you go to the Intermedia KB, search for ConnectWise Autotask or Partner Dashboard, you'll see some KBs on how to do it just that. So that is the QoS dashboard for the account level. You've then seen the partner dashboard, of which you've seen a demonstration. Here's the teaser bit. So, the Envision platform itself has all of this data. It has it in real time. It has it in a timely manner. So right now we are focusing on tools that were most impactful to our partners, that helped you basically deal with your customers. The next version of the partner dashboard will have what we call service provider outage detection. So the Envision platform can see every time a PBX device registers or unregisters from our network. We're polling these devices every 10 seconds typically. We can see a lot of information. The purpose of this alert will be, don't just tell me when call quality is going bad. I want to know when all of those devices have unregistered at my account. That could I want to be able to get hold of my customer in some other way ahead of time. I obviously can't phone them per se, get hold of them on a mobile, whatever it is. But this, could equate to some particularly egregious alert. Get me an SMS immediately. I want to know when that particular, customer is down. We can also tie these up to ISP events or service provider events. So we can see which ISPs are typically these devices are connecting through, and we will try and relate those downtimes to particular ISP events. So, trying to give you that information in a very timely manner. You can get hold of your customer. You can say AT&T Detroit are the root cause of that issue, and, away you go effectively. Okay. So again, I've mentioned the real-time nature of the Envision dashboard. So Jason has also teased some of the contact center and call center capabilities that we're interested in getting feedback on. We're currently running a beta program with our partners. A number of you, I'm sure, are on this webinar for Hunt Group real-time dashboards. Ultimately, this is with a view to releasing our call center capability. But right now, because we can see every time a call is picked up, every time a call is waiting in a queue, we can see as agents are logging in and out when calls are being abandoned. We have developed a wallboard view, I suppose, on the left that shows you a high-level view of your Hunt Group or call center group. And also on the right-hand side here, you're seeing a desktop view. It's like a compact view. So perhaps as a contact center supervisor, you want to see the same information, but on your desktop across multiple Hunt groups. So this is real time. Literally as agents hang up, pick up, answer calls, these numbers are going to be updating in real time on your dashboard, all powered by the Envision platform. So along a similar vein, we have reporting. So both active reporting, which is, think of that as a real-time dashboard view of your call center, but also we collate and collect all of the historical call data associated with Hunt groups and call center groups. So here you're seeing visualizations both within the Unite desktop application for call center supervisors, but this will also be available within the administration portal, within the control panel for administrators to access. So same data from multiple places. Again, this is all based on the historical data that we are storing as it passes through the Envision platform. And actually, I'll just step back before we jump to the Q&A, just to mention as well, scheduled reporting as well. So as well as creating reports, creating call histories, you will also ultimately be able to create scheduled reports, receive those in your inbox, or receive those in your Unite chat as a chat attachment across your organization. So again, getting that data in a timely manner to the people who can most action it, most importantly. Okay, so we're making good time, and I've seen a couple of questions drop in as we go. So at this point, I'm going to go and take a look at the questions that you guys have been asking. Okay, and let me go and pick some of these out. Please, by all means, actually, let me give you a minute or two just to perhaps digest, drop any questions in right now that you may have thought of during or after that presentation. And I'll just take a look at these and see. Okay, there's some excellent stuff here. Okay, so if you think of them, by all means, still drop them in, but I'm going to flash up some of these questions so that we can ask them. So here we go. We have a question here. It's a nice tool, thank you. It would be better if it collected what device the caller was using. So if it's a mobile, Elevate Mobile, for example, it changes how you troubleshoot. Absolutely. So I haven't gone into particular depth here, but you are able to drill into this information. We will show you the device, the endpoint that is in use. On the QoS dashboard, you can even see an active view of the connected and unconnected devices, and you can see a connection history, a device history, sorry, of those devices connecting and disconnecting. So that metadata is available for the calls. You will be able to see that. We don't aggregate that information at the partner view yet, but absolutely that's not a bad idea, being able to see a profile, I suppose, of the types of devices that your customers are using. Okay. Okay, we have a question here. Will this be available for SIP trunk accounts? So I mentioned earlier that we developed these tools initially for our internal troubleshooting. So one thing I can tell you, it doesn't necessarily help to answer this specific question, but we internally do have the same troubleshooting tools for SIP trunking accounts. Right now, we have not exposed those to SIP trunk partners and resellers. However, there is a significant call to do that, so we will do that. I can't give you a particular ETA on that, but I can tell you that the tooling exists, the data exists. It's just we took the decision at the time to specifically do this for our PBX customers, but it will come, yes. Reach out to your partner account manager, I should say, if you want more details, and we can set up a conversation to go into more depth on that. Okay, this question very much on the similar vein. It might well have been the same caller, webinar attendee. Much the same answer here. So again, we didn't release this initially. This is specific to Unite accounts. We do have the tooling on the back end for the 2.0 and the older accounts, with considering how best to roll that out within the view of those older 2.0 accounts. So again, by all means, we can set up a follow-on meeting to discuss that and the timelines. Okay, these are great questions, guys. Okay, so call reports set up to be able to just email out weekly or monthly. So I alluded there to having scheduled reporting. So scheduled reporting will ultimately be available across not just reports, but also call history data. And you will be able to determine, what is the historical period or relative period for that call, for that report. So is it a daily report based on the past week or based on the past month? You will also be able to set the schedule for that report. Do you want it to arrive at 9 a.m. on Cindy's desk, 9 a.m. Monday morning, or would you like that to arrive at, perhaps a different time zone for a different employee or a different person? All of that will be highly configurable. I will say right now, when it comes to the reporting, that is a bit further out than the stuff I've alluded to today. So, timeline-wise, scheduled reporting will be coming a bit further down the pipe. We're currently looking 2019, but I can't give you any more specific dates than that at this time. Again, question here about is the data downloadable? So the data that powers the QoS functionality is not currently exportable through the QoS tool. However, we are redoing the whole call history capability so that it's based on the Envision data. And at that point, you will be able to download the data in CSV or deliver that as an attachment according to the schedule as I've just described. Again, we're further down the pipe for that, but it will be coming. Okay, and there's a question here. So right now, only incident map and quality analytics is available. That's correct. The V1 tool or the MVP that we've released a few weeks ago is that incident map, the quality comparison, but you can also configure the thresholds for your own incidents. So that's that third tab. The V2 tool that includes service provider outage detection, automatic detection, will be a Q3 deliverable, I would say, at this point in time. So we're a couple of months out of providing that to you. We do have an active beta program, though. So if you're interested in perhaps getting that ahead of time, by all means, reach out to your reps and they can get you enrolled into our partner beta program. Okay. I'm just reading through a couple of these. There we go. I think this one looks great. Okay, can the threshold be set for an immediate notification? Okay, so letting them know they had a problem yesterday is not as helpful as this morning. Absolutely. So the thresholds will trigger as soon as they occur. Right now, the quality thresholds basically occur based on a daily aggregation. So if you particularly want to receive that more quickly, you can set a 24-hour threshold, but set a higher kind of poor call percentage, or sorry, a lower poor call percentage. You will then receive that more timely. Of course, we're aggregating this data kind of, every 5 minutes or so, so it's not immediate. The exception to that will be service provider outage detection. So when we roll out service provider outage detection, that will be immediate as soon as we detect an issue based on those service provider or those devices unregistering. Okay, so there are some other questions here that aren't immediately applicable, I would say, to the partner dashboard or the QoS tool. We will get back to you. We'll either get back to you via your reps or we'll reach out after this webinar. But there are a number of great questions. There's a couple here, actually, the cost of this. So as many of you are aware, Intermedia, we are incredibly partner focused, and everything you've seen today is at no additional cost to you. So all of this tooling and capabilities are available in your partner dashboard today or in your control panels today. We don't ever envisage applying a cost to this. This is for you to be more profitable, and ultimately it benefits us the more successful you are. So we do not charge any upfront cost for anything you've seen today. And there's another question here, where do I find the partner dashboard? So this is the last one, I believe, today. So this is, if you remember in that demo, log into the partner portal, click on that voice services tools left nav icon, and there is a section in there, number 4, about onward management of your accounts. As I've said, in the future, we will make that more prominent, but that's where you find that today. I believe we will be posting a recording of this webinar, so if you need to go back and view the demo to revise that, by all means, you can do so. Okay, and I believe that's our last item. Jason, did you want to take over?
Yeah, I just, well, first of all, thanks a lot, Alex. That was a great presentation. I think it's probably one of the more exciting launches that we've had recently, so I thank you so much for that. I just wanted to remind all the partners that are with us right now. You may have seen this in the partner sales portal, but you can win a trip to Hawaii, and the way that you do that is to sell at least 15,000 in net new MRR in this calendar year. That's all you got to do. You hit that, and you win. It's pretty much that simple. You get to go. Let's see. The next thing that I wanted to mention was, sorry, about our product survey that I mentioned at the very top of the presentation. The survey link is actually going to come to you as soon as we close the webinar, so I'd really appreciate it if you just hold on for a second. As soon as we close the webinar, that link will go out to you. But this is about driving the product roadmap for our contact center strategy. So just hold on for just a minute, and that link will come out to you. That's really all that we have for announcements today. If you have any more questions, please reach out to either Alex or myself. And I believe that's all that we have for today. So thank you again for coming. And thank you again, Alex, for presenting. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. And I appreciate all the thumbs up. Thank you so much.